Hello, is my video audible? Audio clear? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Purushottam. Hello, Rajesh sir. Good evening. Hello.
Hi, Ram.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
Good. All good.
Very good.
Yeah. So I'll be in mute. So you let me know when to start. I will.
Yeah, after around 6 people will join. I'll let you know before we start the session.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. This is Professor Rajesh Champala welcoming you all to the third day session. Today we have with us a very senior pro having 28 years of experience. He is none other than Ramakrishna Tadepalli. He is the Agility Transformation Leader, IBM. He is going to deliver a talk on risk management and mitigation in Industry 4.0 implementation. As you are all aware, IBM is considered to be the big elephant as far as hardware is concerned 30 years back. But as of now, IBM has transformed itself into the consulting organization where they are having a wide reach throughout the world. That is because of the people like Ramakrishna. They are there in that particular organization for 2 decades, and they're making IBM once again is taking its own place. Ramakrishna Tadepalli is a global leader with over 27 years of experience driving agile transformation in the IT industry. He is an MBA gold medalist from PB Siddhartha College of Arts and Science. I should say he's a proud alumni of our department. He is the gold medalist from our college as an international published author with a proven track record in technology consulting, practice building, and leadership. Rama has successfully guided organizations through business transformations across diverse industries. A passionate coach, mentor, and public speaker, Rama excels in team building, mindfulness, and blending spirituality with the corporate leadership. Known for delivering innovative solutions that boost productivity, quality, and sustainability, Rama inspires leaders to adopt holistic leadership approaches. With a deep commitment to empowering others, Rama continually strives to create positive, lasting change in both professional and personal lives. So with this, I would like to present to all Ramakrishna Tadepalli. Ram, session is yours.
Namaskar, Rajesh Garu. So let me share my screen, and I need to have the ability to share.
I think there is a share button in the green color in the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I'm getting host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Oh, 1 minute. Samrat?
Sir, now it's enabled, sir.
Now it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So firstly, Pranam, and thanks a lot, Rajesh Garu, for always being an inspiration and always supporting us. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Ram.
Okay, great. So we'll quickly move because we know the topic. So very beginning, I just want to say pranam to the entire management faculty who are here, and some of the people could not be here and they might be supporting. So Gurubhyo Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahman Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. I have highest gratitude for this teaching profession and the people who are in the profession and the people who are supporting this profession. So take my heartful wishes and pranam. Hope audio is clear. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So firstly, we'll get into a social contract. What I believe is giving directly some experiences to the people. And what we mean by social contract, maybe in the chat, people can keep exchange your views, thoughts, and if you know, yes, no. So can I see anybody, how many of you are aware of social contract? You can say yes or you can say no. in the chart? YN? No, no. Okay. No. Okay. Good. The first thing is a very, very important thing is that you people are engaged and you are absolutely brilliant in sharing your views. Keep doing that. So social contract is something in the 4.0, especially you keep hearing in the last few days, right? About agile, right? So one of the practices about the team, they themselves come up with something called do's and don'ts, right? So here being the faculty gurus, I don't think don'ts is required, but as a framework, I want to bring the socialization. That's the reason why I said social contract. So the do's here is keep responding in the chat. And if the system allows, you can unmute and talk or ask questions or share. So the more energy you give back to me, that energy comes back to you. And when that energy comes back to you, it is going to be double, and that is going to help our students and faculty and other people in and around you. So let's keep flowing the energy to and fro, and especially being in the Zoom, in the online meeting. So it is very, very important. So typically what you can also directly implement while you are there into your thing, when your year is starting or a quarter is starting or semester is starting or anything, no, the important thing is not coming directly from top to bottom, but from bottom to up by facilitating and giving that leadership guidance from the top. That's where the facilitation is to come, especially in this generation in 4.0. So the things has to be designed by the people on the ground, right? So along with the students, you can come up with saying, no, to meet our goals, what are the top 3 do's and what are the top 3 or 2 don'ts, right? No need of having a laundry list of things, but this is something called a social contract, which we can directly implement and start leveraging some of these practices, which has been the breadth of many corporates, right? So this the same thing has different meanings, like working agreement or also something called social consensus, like that. So if you think these are learning for you, you can type in the chat saying L1. So the more things you keep learning, you can keep increasing your number like L1, L2, L3 like that. So at the end of the session, you could see how many of the things that you have learned, right? So that would be nice. A lot of people, you said no. So each one of you could say L1, right? And let's keep moving. Okay. So first, let us do some mindfulness session. How many of you practiced or aware of mindfulness session? Excellent. Accountable and communicate. Okay. How many of you practiced or aware of mindfulness? No, that's two. Okay, thank you. So why we are doing in this topic where we are trying to talk about 4.0, stay tuned for a few more minutes and you will be knowing why we are practicing this. So right now, what I request each one of you is to whoever can come video on, it is optional, but my request, if any of you are feasible and you feel comfortable to come video on, I request to do that. That it will give a lot of connect to the faces and to the names, and that would help a lot. And as your choice, okay. What we'll do right now is each one of you, wherever you are being seated, sit straight. If you are wearing spectacles, you can remove. Keep it in a comfortable position, place. Close your eyes. Ensure your neck, shoulders are straight. Your spinal is straight, erect, but not stiff. Why we need to do that is because the spinal having all the energy chakras, which will have a seamless energy flow, right? And now close your eyes and just be in silence for the next 2 minutes. Slowly come to the present, make movements to your body, and gently, whenever you're comfortable, please open your eyes and be to the session. Okay, give thumbs up if people are back to the session. Superb. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. What happened in the 2 minutes? And you were in silence. Rajeshkar, if anyone wants to speak, they can unmute and speak, or it's only.
Yeah, they can speak. No problem.
Great, great. What happened in the 2 minutes?
Feel fresh.
Feel fresh. Excellent. Brilliant. Any others?
Made us to attain the attention. Pay the attention to your session.
Attention to the session. Okay. Excellent. What more?
In chat, there is a response like more conscious.
More
Somebody-
conscious. Okay. Brilliant. How it would be if you practice the same thing before your class? If this is a new learning, keep L2. Right? And why in the corporates this is being followed? And before that, I just want to bring you to the definition of mindfulness. And before that, I want to ask you another 1-2 questions. Okay, these all pointing to the organizational excellence. Okay, we are into the topic. We are connecting the topic in a practical experience mode. That is the difference that we are going to experience all of us together in today's session. Right? One is social contract, second is mindfulness. We started getting into. These are all small steps towards the organizational excellence that many of the organizations who are excelling in the 4.0 practically they are doing day in, day out. Right? So what happened to your thoughts when you are in silence? Are you thinking past? Or your thinking is going to future?
Future.
Future. Superb. Any others? Superb. In the interest of time, let me keep moving. Most of the time, if you at least there for 2 minutes in the silence, either our mind goes to the past or it goes to the future. What happens when the mind goes to the past or future? Past, we can't change. Future is not in our hands or nobody's hands. And still our energies are going there. And that's the reason why we get drained. We feel energy is lost. That's the reason why when you see the child, he is very bombarding, joyful, playful, everything, because they don't go to either of the thing and they remain into the present. You may ask me, Rama, they don't have jobs, they don't have EMIs, so we cannot compare. So I'm not going to that logical thing, but the logic, what we want to see is how the people can be more into the movement means more energy. More energy means more focused, more concentration, more productivity. And that's the reason why corporates encouraging every corporate encouraging people to do mindfulness sessions, and every CEO does some form of meditation or mindfulness every day. Every day. All the top CEOs, they do. Am I right? So the definition is what you have experienced. To the moment, staying to the moment, not going, not having any distraction, and also not being judgmental. That is mindfulness. Okay. So if you think learning 2, 3, whatever it comes to you, keep writing that. So that would be brilliant. And so that you know the time you have spent, what is that benefit you had. So in Zen, we know the Zen Karyam, right? Maruti Zen, we say. The Zen is actually the Japanese word coming from the meditation, Buddhist thought. So anyway, we'll skip, not going in detail to this in the interest of time. And this is where we are going to focus in the next few minutes. Introduction, mindfulness, why I said mindfulness. Again, we'll connect on that one with some super influential and inspirational leader, what he says about his life experience. I'm right. Industry 4.0. In that, we are going to touch upon people dimension, people and organizational dimension, and technology dimension. Obviously, without that 4.0, we don't even get into the session, but no technology or anything can exist or prosper without people. I'm right, that we all know. And these all things are for people only, correct? Not for missions, whatever we do in the technology. And also risk strategy, the standard strategies, I think you can get very easily for risk analysis, do this, that, do that. But I'm trying to go into share you something practically what we, some of the leading customers are interested in how they do. You have been hearing in the last 2 days, I attended now and then some sessions. Every session they have mentioned something called agile practices, and we are going to touch at least to certain flavor of it and how that you can also use while you are doing your roles, professional roles, the teaching roles. And also we'll share some resources, at least some 4 or 5 resources, which you can post the session also can leverage priceless benefit, I would say. I'm right. And Q&A. So this is what it is. So Rajesh Kauru has given brilliant introduction. Once again, Pranam, and just a quick snapshot. If anyone wants to connect, you can take this QR code and you can stay connected with me. So I'm also international published author, which you could see the Agile ODC book here. So more than 7,000 people experienced it in 150 plus sessions. More than 600 leaders has been trained, coached on the emotional intelligence skills. And this is one definitely powerful area as a faculty members that you have to spread in your network and also mentor, coach the students community, so that when they come into the corporate, the top #1 skill for a leader, go and do Google, ChatGPT, whatever it is. It comes communication plus AI. It doesn't come AI, Gen AI, nothing. Correct? For leadership skills, it is communication and AI. Okay, so this is my passion. I keep connecting to colleges, students in various few of the colleges I could flash here, but there are many. And Yesterday also, I think in the last 2 days, sometimes I saw generation, we are all talking about technology. As I said, technology can be brought by people only and to be used by the people only and can be evolved and transformed by the people only. Technology on its own will not do without people's intervention. So I'm not going in detail about here, but what I want to bring the perspective here is, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, now Gen Alpha, am right? Boomers in between. Gen Alpha is very recent people. The way generation after generation, the people have been evolving or having different traits and characteristics. Am I right? And you could see the similar thing happening on the industrial revolution. The people who are in the current generation, if you ask them what you want to have it, and you see the similar trend on the technology. So we have the most famous saying, am I right? Necessity is the mother of innovation, correct? So that's where when the community and the people, society needs something, obviously the evolution of the technology also will come together. So if you see both the sides, the way the people have been evolving generation after generation traits, and the same thing you could also see the technology evolution in the market. Okay, so where, in which world we are in? We are in VUCA world. VUCA. If you are listening for the first time and it's going to be learning, you can type L3, L4, each one of you as per your thing. So what is VUCA? The current market, the current whole economy, and they say economy, not just only India or Andhra, across the globe as one family, one unit, one planet, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. That's where we are. That's the world where we are living in. And whatever you do, these things will increase, but it won't come down. So that is the reason why every CEO, top CEOs, inspirational CEOs do practice mindfulness. Because when we are into such an environment, how do we respond? How do we calm ourselves? How do we take paths to accelerate fast later? We need to have some tools and techniques and methods. That's where these people do this and also encourage their teams to do that so that there is a productivity more and this all can be coined to the organizational excellence. Okay, so when we are in this type of world, and that's where the things coming. So focus on industry, so people and organizational excellence. That's where we will focus in the next few minutes. Who is this person? Hope everyone knows. Who is that person? Okay. Okay. Superb. Is Steve Jobs. Why we brought Steve Jobs here, especially on the organizational and people? I don't want to tell absolutely theory with you. So, but more than theory, a person who has inspired the generation and continuing the legacy, and we all know his product, correct? iPhone, am I right? So what is that he's saying to the world, to the legacy? Is that's what I want to bring, and that's what we as a faculty people need to. Some of you might be doing. I'm not saying no. I'm right. At least some of you are doing. Maybe it is a refresh or reconnect, or some of the things what organizations are expected to do and doing, and what he's saying. And do we know from where this guy got the inspiration? Any thoughts? From where he got the inspiration? Steve Jobs. He came to India and practiced Zen. Good. India. Good. I'm looking for more specific things. Some of you are very close. He came to India, and India definitely, there is no doubt in it, right? So he came to India and practiced Jain. So interest of time, let me keep moving. Yeah. So let me flash. Neem Karoli Baba is a later story. Okay, Kanshidam, you're talking about Neem Karoli Baba. That is later part when he has grown up. Am I right? But before that, his inspiration when he was a teenager onwards is from Paramhamsa Yogananda, the autobiography of a yogi. When teenager, he read this book, and through the life, he carried that book. And every year, he read that book. Okay, and some interesting things. Am I right? Why he said so got, when he got expired? Am I right? So he gave the message to his well-wishers and friends. Whoever comes to the funeral, they need to be given this book as a gift. Such a message that he has given. And why he has given that? Because what it happens is spiritual exploration, what he was looking from, am I right? Spiritual exploration, mindfulness. Okay. That is the reason why we started our session with mindfulness. Okay. And detachment and simplification, deeper perspective in life to get more clarity in the life. These are all okay, Rama. Why we are talking about this? This seems to be more on a different thing. And then if you see the right hand side, that's where it is coming. It's is a relevance to the business. What it helped him is visionary thinking. That means think beyond just as a product, but have a higher purpose. That's where the iPhone has been developed to be most user friendly and usable. And also that's where we started with mindfulness. He says always focus on the present moment, but because that is the reality. And the simplicity in design, that's where he derived from the detachment and simplification. And in the last 2 days also, many of our speakers were talking about the simplification, being simple. Am I right? He derived that simplicity in design from the principles he learned from that book. And the resilience and acceptance. He was thrown out of the company. After 10 years back, he came with no ego. He accepted, he went. That is the resilience and acceptance, whatever happening. And also the purpose driven leadership. This is very, very important. Some of our speakers also have spoken with that. So why he was saying about autobiography of a yogi is more relevant and very important is these are the things that he has taken inspiration, and that is where he has incorporated those principles in his company. And that's how the iPhone, what we know, the Apple as of now is being doing tremendously. And that is the culture he's trying to bring to all the his employees. Okay. That's where the organizational thing coming into the picture. I'll take a pause here before I get into the technology. Are we doing good? Learning something new? Okay. So hope you're counting your L's, L4, L5, L6, I don't know. Whatever new things you are learning, each one it varies. So keep having that count so that end of the session, you have some outcome driven. So I have learned some 5 things or 6 things or 7 things, whatever the number comes. Okay. Thank you for being fantastic responses into the system. Now we are getting into the technology, and in the technology also, you have been hearing a lot about systems engineering, IoT, robotics, AI, Gen AI, whatnot, cloud, cyber security, a lot of things. No, so here what we are trying to do when it comes to the technology is I am taking one case study and navigate, and let us navigate through what is this journey. Am I right? TPS means Toyota Production System. Okay, and it is being the origin, the roots of many best practices that are being followed today across the globe. The origin is coming from Toyota Production System. And if you go to the YouTube and just type TPS case studies or TPS Toyota Production System, you get from 2 minutes to 1 hour videos. Brilliant. Go, embrace, learn, and then get them into the execution is what I would say. What all things it is doing, am right? Known for its emphasis on lean manufacturing. Lean, most of you might be heard, is what I'm thinking. So lean is elimination of all the wastages, how we can be more operationally efficient, identify where the waste reduction is happening, am right? Continuous improvement, all these things, am right? So when it comes to the TPS core principles, these are the principles: waste reduction, Kaizen, that is continuous improvement, and respect for people. Very, very, very important, am right? The biggest challenge, the skill that the planet is missing is just to be human. We are humans, but that is the rarest quality we are finding in the, especially in the working environments, am right? So respect for people have been augmented by 4.0, and again creating a more agile and data driven production system. We keep hearing agile and agile, that's why spend some time towards end on the agile side. And if you see here, I will not go in detail, but I'll touch upon so that we can spend more time on the some of the areas not covered in the last 2 days, but still being a technology driven when we talk about the 4.0. So enhanced waste reduction, that is MUDA, elimination MUDA. These are all Japanese terminologies, am right? And you could see here, they are using IoT, real-time data, digital twins, AI powered quality control. What it means by digital twins is you have an object, they will simulate that in the as a prototype. That means a soft copy of that. Okay, it's not actual object. So when you are able to do those things, what happens? A lot of cost is reduced. You can experiment more, you can explore more, and get the better output and better designs. Right? That is the digital twins. AI-powered quality control. So quality we all know. So how they are using AI in doing that. So this all comes under waste reduction. That is MUDA. Right? And then comes second, accelerated continuous improvement. That is Kaizen, data-driven, collaborative platforms. What we mean by collaborative platforms? Anyone? Any thoughts? And here a very important thing is the cross-functional teams to collaborate in real time on problem solving. Any thoughts from anyone? What is the collaborative in real time? Collaborative platforms? Hope you all heard about LinkedIn, Slack, the organization they use. These are all collaborative platforms, am right? And feedback loops. So feedback loop is not only for a person, even for a product or for a solution or for a service. When it is being delivered, how quickly it can be integrated back into the production system, am right? That's where the AI algorithms is going to help, so that what they get the feedback in the next iteration of that product, they will try to fix and make things better. And third is smart production and Jidoka, automation with a human touch. Automation is there, but someone has to monitor it. Someone has to watch for it. Sometimes because of various algorithms and some other things, so it would absolutely go crazy. Am I right? So it has to have a human touch till it comes to a maturity level. So that's what here we're talking about: predictive maintenance and advanced Jidoka, AI and machine learning, right? Handle issue detection. That means there are certain types of issues, what we are trying to say in the corporate world today, in the manufacturing, or it could be anywhere, am right? The moment certain issues comes, no need of human intervention. Straightforward certain category of issues, the machine itself is going to resolve and take it back. And once certain parameters, certain clip levels are increased, that's where machine plus human intervention is required. Further, then the human intervention is required. Am I right? Those are the things that we are seeing trending in the 4.0. And enhance just in time, we all know, correct? It is also coming from the TPS, that is Toyota Production System. That means as per the demand and supply, exactly when, what, how much the raw material has to be available in the factory at the time of the need. Exactly, so that you are going to eliminate a lot of wastages. Am I right? The same things even we can implement in our day-to-day lives also. Okay, so just in time, like for example, if I want to do certain activity, if I'm going and bringing so many resources which are not required, am I right? And with a lot of technology systems, everything, I think now people are smart enough and they are using that, including bringing their milk or groceries or daily vegetables on the need basis instead of storing them. Am I right? So that is just in time, a simple example in a day-to-day life. And dynamic scheduling, a lot of things. Am I right? And then workforce empowerment, upskilling and training, augmented reality, employee-centered innovation. So these are all the things they are using AR. So another fantastic culture from the Toyota production system, the highest level of maturity, the highest level of capable person or the thought leader level person in any specific skill. Do you know what they call? Any thoughts, guesses? They call teacher. They call teacher. So the person who has hands-on experience and academic excellence together when he has been growing from a junior level, senior level, mid level, top level, and becomes the commander of the whole of that flow, of that discipline, of that competency or capability. And he is the teacher and he is the person who has to give the training or enable the people who are joining or to the lower levels of the people. So that's the culture of the uh, Toyota production system, right? So global adaptability and resilience. So resilient supply chains, digital twins, we again coming, cloud technologies. When I say cloud technologies, most of the companies, they are going for a hybrid cloud. And when I say hybrid cloud, it could be Azure, it could be IBM, it could be AWS. There are various things, right? Most of the people, they go for that. And to manage production across global facilities, across globe, they have facilities and how they are integrated and how they are distributed, the efficiencies. Those are all the things they do remote monitoring with this thing. Sustainability is a very, very, very powerful thing. Right? Energy efficient. That means we should not waste the resources. We should safeguard the planet. Every top company do have their sustainability goals. There is no company on this planet, they say, I don't have any sustainability goals, I am not environmental friendly. So no one is there like that. Everyone is investing millions of rupees, and definitely Toyota is also doing a lot. And if you sit down, the whole what we have discussed in 6 different categories, am I right? Smart factory initiative, what they call it as in 4.0, smart factory concept, which is integrating IoT, AI, robotics. Why they are doing all these things? To achieve higher efficiency while maintaining TPS principles. What are the TPS principles? In the very beginning, we talked about wastage, respect for the people, all those things, right? So those principles has to be there. Whatever could be the technology innovations, technology advancement can happen, but the core principles can't be disturbed, right? That's very, very important. And it is the same for any, but we took one example, which is like a global leader in all these practices. So ensure flexible manufacturing to meet diverse customer needs, develop an adaptive workforce skilled in both lean methodologies and digital technologies. Why I highlighted lean methodologies is this is definitely one area where management graduates, management experts can further get the grip on this and have the roles in the 4.0. It could be agile, it could be lean methodologies or any of those things. Basically, we are not the people who are coding in the faculty in the management side, correct? But there are certain areas that we can add more value. That's the reason why I highlighted these lean methodologies. Okay, so I'll take a pause here before we get into the next one. Yes, sir, correctly said someone, the Toyota way. Brilliant. Thank you. The way of explanation is good. Shared resources, combinations. Good. So at what level we are? L3, L4, L5, L6, where we are? You can type here before I get into the next session, next thing. Are you counting? How many things that you have been learning? New things. Okay. Keep that so that at the end of the session, you can pat yourself. Today in this session, where PB Siddhartha has been organized, I am able to learn, and your contribution is there. There is no doubt in it. Correct. Zoom also a platform. Okay. L4. So keep doing that. I'm right. So let me bring this up. Technology we discussed, and now we want to get into risk. And one solution for the risk, and also we'll touch upon agile. We have been hearing a lot about agile. What is that? We will narrow down that. Okay. So in the risk management, very, very few does, but is the most powerful thing. We all heard about post-mortem, correct? But here I am talking about pre-mortem. Post-mortem, we know once it is done, then we do the analysis and we say, no, this is went wrong, this is not doing, this is where the issue, this is the blah, 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 blah. But here we're talking about pre-mortem. That means before a product is developed, before certain manufacturing initiative was taken, or a decision to be taken. This is what the next future is going to be. Am I right? The best matured way of risk management is having a pre-mortem session. So in the pre-mortem session is a valuable strategy to anticipate and mitigate potential risks and challenges in a project before it begins. Am I right? That means the project is not yet started. Before the project itself, all the brains coming together and then discussing what could be potential risks. That is brilliant. Am I right? Something new thing you learned pre-mortem. And here is another fantastic opportunity, especially for the people in the marketing discipline. It doesn't mean others also will be there, but mostly on the marketing. The reason I said is it is more into the product management, product owner, and product related roles. Am I right? Where the marketing people are closely associated with that. Am I right? So it is about problem space versus solution space. Over the decades, over the period of time, we have mastered solution. What the industry today want is who can master the problem space. And Elon Musk has certain videos, go and watch it. Brilliantly, he explains how he narrowed down the problem and how he's getting the solutions. When a problem comes, don't jump directly into the solution. Get the grassroots of the problem. Know the hidden persuaders of the problem. Sometimes the customer, he himself will not be able to tell. Correct? The people on the consumer behavior, organization behavior, psychology related marketing people, we all know the hidden persuaders, how powerful it is. Those are actually the innate roots of their needs and desires. Right? So the people who are into the marketing and related thing, it is a brilliant opportunity for you people. And as a faculties, I think one of the things we have to tell to the next generation and to the network and other people is to master problem solving. Don't even get into the solution. Master problem solving. How I can narrow down the problem. How can I say I mastered the problem solving technique? This is one of the things I think as a faculties we can train, coach, embrace our students. Am I right? And when imagine what happens in this scenario of the pre-mortem is we'll imagine a failure scenario. This could be the scenario this project is going to be failed. What could be the potential scenario? As a team, they'll come up with 1 or 2 scenarios. Am I right? This could be the reason the project could be failed. Whatever may be the reason. Am I right? It could be war between 2 countries. It could be the technology change. It could be people turnover, or it could be pandemic. It could be anything. Am I right? 2 potential challenges that could make the project failure. Am I right? And people has to be creative. Every team, all the teams who are responsible for that, and list 2 reasons for failure. I'm right. Project is not yet started, is much before. That's what we are talking about. And once we do and list everything, all the risks are identified. This is another framework, that is ROAM, ROAM. This also you can use directly to your departments. Am right? If you and your teams, That means students and fellow faculty members all together, you think for your department goals or your department missions. These are the risks that are there, correct? And for these risks, whether the risk, if it is resolved, that's good, but still it has to be documented. And maybe someone is going to own it. Maybe a senior student leader is owning, saying, no, this risk, I'm going to take it, or a department head is going to take, correct? And there are certain risks we accept. We can't do anything. We have to accept and live with them. And there are risks that can be mitigated. And what risk can be mitigated, that's where we have to formulate a plan, how we can eradicate the risk. So this, a collective as a team, taking the decisions and working on the risk management. This is the most powerful, matured way of doing the risks. Am I right? And whatever you have been done with the risks and everything, this all has to go into the project plan, into the execution plan, and then obviously when it goes to the project plan, it has to be owned by someone. Am I right? These are some of the things straight away you can start using in your current things also. Once it is done, finally, what we'll do at the end of the session, whether the session went fine or not, we'll take a confidence vote from everybody, from all the participants. And if someone is saying less than 3, that is little confidence or no confidence on whatever has been discussed, whatever has been evolved out of the risk management, we have to further discuss and understand their views. Why do they think they have little confidence? We have to continuously put the dialogue, conversations, and have the brainstorming till they come at least to the good confidence. That is very, very important. Every stakeholder is equally important. That is how the risk management can be done in a most matured, advanced way in 4.0. Other standard things, I think easily you can get. Okay, but something more advanced and novel thing, which is what I want to share. Are we good? Okay. Excellent. Lot of interactions, lot of responses. Brilliant. Awesome. Namaskar. Thanks a lot. Anyone want to share anything before I move on? Okay, good to great. Thank you. We'll aim to get to great to awesome in the next session. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I am going to play a video and then we are going to talk about some agile, but you people need to tell me whether you are able to hear the video. Are you able to hear? Not playing, huh? It's coming now. Are you able to hear? No. Are you able to hear when it's playing?
No, sir.
Someone said yes, someone said no. No, sir.
Able
Okay.
to hear, sir.
Any tips, techniques from anyone to ensure the, let me play once again. Okay. Let me know.
Samrat, is it possible to guide the sir?
Directly click open in YouTube, sir. It will be fine.
YouTube, you want me to open directly in YouTube?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. That will be easy. If you click on that particular video, you will be getting a text as YouTube, sir. If you click on it, it will get redirected to YouTube automatically.
Okay. Let me try. Who is this guy who came here? Any idea, people? Simon Sinek, one of the leadership, powerful leadership coach and thought. Are you able to hear now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Instead of presentation, select share to file as, sir. In Zoom itself.
What is that, sir?
In Zoom, you can share it as a file, sir, instead of presentation.
Oh, in the Zoom, instead of
Click
new
on the
share,
share
I'm
button.
going.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Click again.
Okay, I did. There is something called
Yeah.
window. Shall I go there? Window?
Yes, sir. You share the
Yeah.
single window rather than sharing the entire screen.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Window. Let me see if it is going to work. No.
Now play the video, sir. We'll check whether.
So
Or else
saying
share
window.
me the link, sir. I'll try to do it, sir.
See if you're able to hear now. Yes, no?
No, sir.
Samrat, if possible, you just share that video.
Yes, sir. Share me the link, sir. I'll try to do it, sir.
Ram, you just
Want me
put that link in the chat box.
Okay, I'm sharing that. Okay, Zoom chat box. It's there, sir. Just see. Can help. Shall I stop here?
Sir, didn't receive any link in the chat box, sir. Can you please check it once?
I think it went to someone, Ashok or somebody. I am giving again. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I think I got it.
You want me to stop sharing or you want me to be there?
I'll do it, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, is it audible now?
No, Samrat, no.
Is it not audible, sir?
You want me to try once again from my side and otherwise we'll keep moving? Interest of time. Maybe the link
Yes,
is
sir.
there. Let me give a last try. Otherwise I can tell the summary and then we can keep moving. Okay. Let me try where it is talking about. Now try and see if you're able to hear.
It's fine. Steve Jobs is fine.
Yeah, now it's audible.
In
Yes,
most
sir. It is
companies,
audible.
if you're new and you ask, why is it done this way? The answer is because that's the way we do it here, or because that's the way it's always been done. And in my opinion, the largest contribution of much of this quality thinking is to approach these ways of doing things, these processes, scientifically, where there is a theory behind why we do them. There is a description of what we do, and most importantly, there is an opportunity to always question what we do. And this is a radically different approach to business processes than the traditional one, because it's always done this way. And that single shift is everything, in my opinion, because in that shift is a tremendous optimistic point of view about the people that work in a company. It says these people are very smart. They're not pawns. They're very smart. And if given the opportunity to change and improve, they will. They will improve the processes if there's a mechanism for it. And that optimistic humanism I find very appealing. And I think we have countless examples that it works.
Okay. What is that we could get from that video? And this is being touched in a different way in one of the sessions too. And just a minute before also we were talking about problem solving, am I right? Similar thing Steve Jobs was telling. We need to encourage as a faculty and also give the triggers and motivate the people to challenge the status quo, not just following what has been there. It is brilliant, if it is good, no doubt in it, but we need to give a thought process. That is how the innovation comes. That is how the best products will come. That is how we will evolve in Industry 4.0 and 5.0 coming also. Am I right? So the fundamental shift, that one shift, if the person is able to do, and those are the people who are the entrepreneurs, who are the people we are seeing like rising stars. It could be iPhone or it could be any other products, what we have been experienced. So I think as a faculty, I think these are some of the faculties we have to trigger, ignite the people who are around us, am I right? And that's where the whole world is going to be transformed. It is with us to transform our students community, our fellow faculty members, and the network, it keep growing on, am I right? So that's the key message, and that's where this thing come about agile. That is where totally it has broken the way earlier used to do the things in a different way now, right? So what is agile, right? So I'm not going in detail in the interest of the time, but we'll touch upon key important things. This is one of the area what I have been seeing, especially in abroad, the management trainees, right? They come into the thing, out of every 5 projects, 4 projects are in agile, especially in the IT industry. Okay, it could be manufacturing industry, it could be any industry in IT. Correct. I see a lot of management trainees, they get into these roles, agile manager, agile scrum master, like that. Am I right? So there is a potential opportunity for management people who could enhance their knowledge. This is where I think brilliantly in this session we are here with the efforts of Rajesh Kaur and PB Siddhartha, where they are connecting industry with the academics, am I right? To narrow that bridge and to explore and exchange the ideas between both the things, which is very, very prime importance in the current era. Am I right? So while they are doing their MBAs or other things, if they are also able to enhance their skills, some of the things that industry is looking, that's where you become industry ready, not after completing and then getting into the market, then exploring, I have to learn these things, right? It doesn't cost much. A lot of information is freely available. And I'm going to share you towards end, a lot of resources, at least I think 5 to 6 resources I'm going to share, which is going to be very, very helpful for you and your people in the network, right? So all agile, what they're trying to do, I'll tell you simple, okay? And it is absolutely brilliant the way the management, the faculty, people, and academics, it happens. Am I right? For example, you have an annual exam. Am I right? There is no slip test, there is no monthly, there is no semester, directly annual exam. And in annual exam, somebody got a failure. Is there a chance to rectify it? The risk is very high. The same with the product. If we take requirements in January and I deliver a product in this December or next December, we don't know what the market is, dynamics are keep changing. And the whole effort, how much it is there, this is absolutely more than anything else, the risk mitigation strategy that the industry is following today. So the same annual exam, if you put into the slip test of 2 weeks, monthly, quarterly, then you do the evaluation and the person also get the reflection. I am poor in this subject. This is where I have to focus. The same thing, iteration after iteration, we call it as a sprints, scrums, iteration cycles. Cross-functional teams coming together and working in 3 weeks period and delivering on outcome. Not 1 year, 2 years. The same thing is now picking up in branding and trade promotion management, budgeting, positioning, budget usage, everything now getting into the agile. It is not just only in the IT industry, now it is spreading across. It could be in a hospital and everything. So what it talks about is, it talks about, here we are going to talk about values and principles. There is a lot more. I am not going there. This is one of the area, if management graduates can master it, absolutely, it is going to accelerate and open up new avenues for them in the 4.0 and 5.0 also. What it talks about is the top ones are more important than the below ones. Okay, so earlier we have been into the process and tools. Now the importance is given. We are not saying process and tools will be removed, but we give more value for individuals and interactions. Earlier, there is a huge comprehensive documentation. If that is not getting hit the market and you're not getting the dollar out of it, what is the usage? That's where I showed the Steve Jobs thing, challenge and try to see how we can do things differently. We have to deliver working software. We have to deliver prototype products. So the value is given on the top ones. Customer collaboration important, then contract negotiation. Respond to change important, then following a plan. In 4.0 and above, the top ones are given more value. We are not saying the below ones are gone, but the top ones are given more value. The people who are able to adapt to the top ones, they are the people who are going to shine. They are going to evolve. They are going to prosper. Okay, this is about agile values. And similarly, what we talk about here is the next is agile principles. So satisfying customer, iterate to evolve, simplicity. Again, simplicity is coming. So don't put the efforts on unwanted things. Put the effort which has to be delivered, which is going to create value for you, value for the market. All focus has to be there when you're releasing the thing. Deliver software. Most of these things are connected to values, but these are the important. Sustainability you are seeing here, correct? Talk, deliver frequently, continuously keep doing. Self-organizing team, this is very, very important. Lot of management things, skills has to be used there to nurture, motivate, facilitate, and evolve the team to become a self-organized team. That means you are not waiting for the manager to give you command, but you yourself becoming like a one cross-functional team and empowered to take the decisions and deliver the things. That is what self-organizing team means. Who can better mentor and facilitate other than the management graduates? Plenty of opportunities if people can look into this direction. Quality, no compromise, always be improvising. Am I right? Our egos has to be kept aside. Outcome is important. That's where always be improvising. If you see Bahubali's in film, am I right? What the Rajamouli does, he follows everything. He may not tag them as agile principles except for the quick to delivery, deliver to the market, except that every other thing he follows. Okay, so we keep talking about mindset. So I'm not going in detail here, but I'm going to touch upon two important things here. Here agile mindset is driven by values and principles, but I am also trying to touch upon another powerful thing. We all heard about growth mindset. Am I right? Heard about growth mindset? Yes, no? Heard? Yeah. Of good. Growth mindset we know. Now I'm trying to bring another thing called growth hacking mindset. Have you heard about this? Growth hacking mindset. Yes, no? So growth mindset is your individual development. Growth hacking mindset is to develop the business. Similar principles, but here about business. I'll just flash towards end. Otherwise, you can just Google it. You will be able to get. If you're not able to get, just reach me. I'll be happy to share. So what we have to tell to our students community is growth mindset is definitely important, but also have the growth hacking mindset to prosper and evolve in the 4.0 and 5.0 going forward. Right? That's very, very important thing. That's where I want to touch upon on that mindset thing. Okay, so this is how in agile normally works. You have all the phases, but here everything is shrinked into a 3 weeks iteration. You do requirements gathering, design, build, test, deploy, everything in 3 weeks in a small chunks pieces of the value that you can deliver to the market. And when you're delivering to the market, it has to be, the cake has to be cut on the vertical slice. Then only you get all the flavors of the taste of the cake, not horizontally. If you cut horizontally the cake and you can't deliver to the market, but you have to cut vertically. I'm just trying to give the flavor of it just to understand, because we have been talking about agile, and these all things can be done in any of the things in your management department. Also, you can start exploring these things. Okay, what all it brings? We are talking about risk, am right? The risk comes very less here because every 3 weeks you are reflecting and you are assessing as a team. These are the risks, but not at the end of the year. And continuous improvement. So you have a visibility, the business values getting, so you're not getting the dollar hitting into the market right from the 3 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it is as per the product and the context, not after the 1 year. So obviously the business value is more. The adaptability has to be more, better, because of the market conditions, how we are going to do. The visibility is very high to the business. It is not at the beginning, I took some requirements and only at the end when they are testing, no, I'm going to give them. They are part of the whole journey. Every day they are going to be along with the team. That's where the marketing teams, the budgeting teams, trade promotion teams are also adopting to these agile ways of working. Okay, so what is the role of management faculty? I'll not go in detail. You're all experts, masters. I just want to refresh knowledge transfer. That is one thing. What you are gaining here has to be transferred to the industries, to the other faculties, other management students. Skill development, which is the very, very important thing to bridge the skill gap. And we did discuss about agile just now, like that. It could be design thinking, it could be lean, it could be anything, right? And the culture of innovation. And we discussed some of the examples from the Steve Jobs to problem solving, how we need to look at the things, right? So that is important. And then coming to call to action, empowering industry 4.2 for all the faculty here. So what as a faculty, what we need to do, and the need of the hour of the planet is that we need to produce servant leaders. Quantum leadership is important. I'm not talking about quantum physics. I'm not talking about quantum computing. That is all technical. The same principles taken into the leadership, and those are the things we have to inculcate into our next gen, current gen, in our networks. Enable the teams, the working force, and make them good servant leaders, good quantum leadership leaders. And second is communication and EI. I did touch upon the importance of EI. You go and do Google, ChatGPT, whatever you want to do. What are the top 10 skills that is required for a leader? The first one you get is communication. The second one you get is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence has 12 components, 12 dimensions into that. That itself is a different topic. I will not go there, but that is very, very, very important. Very unfortunate, we don't teach them in anywhere in the academics. Even in the corporates, only in the last 1 decade, they realized its importance. And some of the big companies, they were putting a lot of focus on this one. Okay, so long journey to go. And third one is embrace continuous learning, which we have to do. You have to be tech savvy. There is no option. I'm a management person. No one is expecting you to do lines of code. Correct? No one is expecting you to do some machinery fixing and other stuff. You have to understand the knowledge. There is no company on this planet which says I'm not a tech company, IT company. You take, see, they have a huge IT department. You take telecom, they have a huge IT department. Every company is an IT company in this era. So you have no option. We have to be tech savvy. I'm not saying you have to excel and you have to be master the technology, but you have to be tech savvy. You should understand how it is working, how the people are working on that, how you can navigate, communicate, respond, react. Am I right? That is a must. The other one is domain skill, technical skill, functional skills. Power skills are quite commonly called as a soft skills, all these things. Am I right? The new terminology is power skills. And networking is very, very, very important. We have to make the people, our students, to start networking right from the college, right from the day one in the college. Your net worth is your networking. And networking itself is a big concept. I'm not going there, but want to bring that. So Q&A session. If anyone wants to ask. Rajesh Kaur, any questions that we need to touch upon?
Yeah, that's fine, Rama. Okay, could you throw some light about your own organization, that is IBM, how it is transformed from a big hardware to that of consulting, a bit in a very brief manner?
Yeah, it just to be, as I mentioned to you, it just to you have to be agile in nature, and also what is that your value stream coming? That means where is that your focus, the market is trending towards. Just to focus on those things, and the rest of other things just to keep moving away from you. And that's how some of the units now we have just moved away and restructured. People say no, the elephant can't dance. Right? There is a famous book on that, but the big organization, Big Blue, has proven it is wrong. Right? More than 112 years, very strong, and still going as a leader and doing extremely good. And glad that now we have an Indian CEO who is leading that one. And innovation is utmost given highest value and importance in the whole of the company culture. That is number one, innovation. Trusting across the organization, either it could be people or it could be employees or it could be customers. Trust, integrity, and whatever happens, they don't compromise on the policies and processes. That is, these are the things that is making it is still a leader beyond 112 years, and it's still continuing to lead in this space.
Yeah, excellent. I request the participants to raise a few questions if you are having.
Yeah, otherwise I just want to move it to here. If someone has questions, happy. So if you want to stay connected, this is a QR code. You can stay connected with me anytime. And I am also sharing, Rajesh Kar, I did share with you, but let me
No, I'm
copy.
Ram, I'm sharing now. I just shared in the chat box.
Yeah, I can share if you want also. I can.
No, I have done it. Thanks.
Okay, that's good. Okay, brilliant. So these are the resources. So let me just share one thing for you people. One of the link you have seen, we have been talking a lot, right? The technical skill, how we need to get into. You could see here, these are all the things that are available at free. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, data science, emerging technologies, quantum computing, agile, design thinking, job readiness. So these all things will make the management people tech savvy. I'm not saying you will master it, but no, you will get the tech savvy what we have discussed, and that will enhance your opportunities, and also it will elevate your marketability. Am I right? That's very, very important. Okay, so with that, I wish you all the success, every one of you, and to your community and people. This is what I said about, I'll give a flash of growth mindset versus growth hacking mindset. If you want, you can take a screenshot or a picture, right? So that can be helpful. Okay, I'm stopping sharing, sir. So 7:24.
Yes,
Back
sir.
to you, Rajesh Garu.
That's fine, Ram. Thank you very much for your wonderful session. I should say it's very I mean, you started with mindfulness that created a lot of good ambience for the session. And you touched upon how the transformation should start within. Like an individual, if he's transformed, the institution will transform. In that sense, you also narrated how the IBM has successfully managed at least now. So in a sense, it's a big organization, giant organization. How big organization should be agile? That is a challenge now. These challenges you have narrated very well. And you mentioned a lot about agile mindset, agile principles. And you also talked about very important, maybe concepts like pre-mortem session. Pre-mortem session is very important. So that will be giving us some awareness about the resources, awareness about the opportunities. And you also mentioned about problem space versus solution space. As people are interested in solutions, rather quick fix solutions, as in management, we believe today's solutions could be tomorrow's problems. So you should address the problems first, the root cause of the problem. Sometimes, as you mentioned rightly, the customer also doesn't know the exact reason of the problem. And I was fascinated by imaginary problem scenario. So it's like a check and balance.
Yeah.
So every organization must follow this, even every department, even in educational institutions. They should follow the imaginary problem scenarios and try to identify the reasons so that you are well prepared.
Yep.
And challenging the status quo is a mantra. And ultimately you have given. Your network is your net worth. Yes, we should build the network. Whom do you know is more important than what do you know in the future. So naturally, I mean, every word is important. Thanks, Ram, for presenting this in a very lucid manner. With
Thank you,
this,
sir.
I think we can conclude your session, and we are waiting for other session about to start. That is also from a young entrepreneur. If you find some time, you can also join Ram. I mean, it's also very interesting session.
So definitely for some time I'll join.
Yes.
May not be the complete time. Yeah.
So
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you can go on mute, sir. No problem.
Yeah. Pranam to everyone. Namaste. Thank you all for being a fantastic participants of this session and very responsive, reactive, and collaborative. Great.
Yeah, good afternoon, participants. We are on the third day. I think first 2 days we had a very fantastic sessions. And now we are in the second session. We have with us a very young, dynamic entrepreneur, a person of all seasons, I should say, a young boy, and having a lot of stakes in different verticals is none other than Gautam Sai Polvarapu. So it's been my immense pleasure to introduce him. He's into automobiles, fashion, retail, and food and beverages verticals. He's having a passion to build the institutions. He wants to build the teams. He relies heavily on the people's networking. So he's exploring his entrepreneurial journey from automobiles to that of fashion. He's basically a management BBM graduate. Then he did his master's in NEFT. NEFT is famous, in Chennai, National Institute of Fashion Technology. In NEFT, he has done MFM, Master of Fashion Management. So now he is having his own brands. He built some brands like Blank. And his secret weapon is to blend of creativity and strategic planning. He's always innovative in doing service. He has been bagged many awards in automobile industry for the excellent customer support. As I mentioned already, he is a strong believer in the people's strengths. His strength is to build strong teams, nurturing individual talents. And he also makes huge efforts to connect with customers, turning a casual browser into a loyal fan. There's the magic he's creating. So if you are looking for an investor, you should be in touch with him. He's a serial investor. And I can say he supports startups in a big way because he is also into startups. So I welcome Mr. Gautam Sai Polvarappu to the show.
Hi everyone, Namaste. I hope the whole overall a long week program has been helpful for everyone, and I think I'm seeing a very good amount of participation is what I see, and that to all the faculties, So probably you are the voice and you are the channel and link between the knowledge and the nurturing knowledge. Like you inherit knowledge and then you pass it on to people to nurture it and furthermore deliberate it so that they could use it for their lifestyle and their growth prospects. So welcome you all, and so overall, should I share the presentation or?
Yes, Gautam, you can share.
Sure. Yeah, so the topic which was given also is one of the trending topics for us, in overall in current industry in any dimension or any domain probably. So I would just start by throwing some light. Is it visible? Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when I see a good participation also probably in the chat box happening. So any question comes up, you could probably raise your hands, or we could have a proper Q&A at the end of the session. And the overall topic covers, as was said in the introduction also, I would throw some light on certain domains of industries like automobile, the innovation in automobile happening, the new technologies which are going to come, which are already there in the market, which needs more attention so that you could pass on or you could understand and then deliberate it to the students further, and then into food processing, and very light throw on food processing because obviously I know a lot of you have been using the new age innovations of quick commerce or quick delivery apps. So food processing, and then on overall garment industry and retailing overall. So to start the session with the importance of innovation, first of all, why innovation is required. I was also, attending the previous session for past 10 to 15 minutes, the growth mindset. The word growth mindset is a very important word wherein, for all of us, in order to contribute to our profession or to our businesses, to our daily rituals, anywhere where earlier an individual used to just think of a growth perspective, where am I today, where do I reach? But current growth mindset, the overall strategy, the innovation coming in, people utilizing the opportunity, optimizing the way people are looking at the opportunity, the way people are looking at the any business model, or the way people are looking at a generic lifestyle also has changed. The way we perceive things, the way we deliberate things have changed. So in terms of importance of innovation, obviously, the very first point is competitive advantage. Because why innovation, or why not innovation? If you'll just throw a question to yourself in a business, it is very important to be a step ahead or a few steps ahead of the competition. So innovation help any kind of organization or a personality, probably in our personal life, we call it upskilling, right? We learn something, we upskill, we try to understand something. So which is very important for us to stand out in the market. The similar way, innovation helps out any company to stand out in market and also attract customers, right? For example, the current brand I'm dealing with, MG Motors, which is Morris Garages. Currently, it is JSW MG Motor India. So in which, if you'll see, when there was humongous line of vehicles into petrol and diesel, which was available in market, MG came in with a very first internet inside car called Hector. Then MG launched the very first electric vehicle into market. Obviously, it was not the very first passenger or commercial vehicle into the market, but it was one of the first widely accepted electric vehicle cars which was available. When we started getting the very first load, we were thinking, will this even work in market or not? Because people will have range anxiety, people will have a lot of doubts. How do we get about it? But then obviously customers are smart, so they get attracted. They understand the brand, or they understand the companies a way lot better, and their capability of understanding is way far ahead than a brand itself. And that's how customers got attracted to the brand also. And that's how we see currently 60 to 65% of the product contribution in MG is new energy vehicles. And now then coming, so this is a light which I'm throwing on competitive advantage, how a brand entered Indian market and wanted to capture the market share and wanted to, beat the competition. Obviously, innovation in a product is very important. And they came in with a very new model of the age-old tradition of engines. There are no engines in electric vehicles. And the consumer mindset also changes. And that's how we are seeing a lot of consumers shifting to EVs in future, and even today also. And then the second part of importance in innovation is process optimization. Innovation doesn't only restrict itself with just bringing in a new product or bringing in a new technology, but it also involves a lot of improvement in, leaves a lot of gap and room for efficiency, productivity, and, overall optimization, wherein you have lesser errors and you have better efficiency in the overall process. You leave the dead ends, you open the dead ends, you open the loops so that the process is streamlined. Then with the current, the worldwide scenario of sustainability, it becomes a very dear topic to me, and probably a dear topic to everyone post-COVID. Why sustainability is important in our daily lifestyles. As such, not only in our daily lifestyles, but in industries also, wherein I'm seeing a lot of manufacturing industries changing towards its, sustainable levels, or a lot of retail industries changing towards sustainability. Government is announcing left-right schemes and incentives for sustainable power generation, sustainable business models. Bankers are supporting these kind of things. So sustainability is not only reducing environmental impact for me. Obviously, majority of it is reducing environmental impact, but also creating a space for our future generation, right? So whatever we have spoiled till today, or whatever our previous generations have spoiled, probably this generation has to look up to sustainability a lot more, so that we create a good room and space for a future generation to come enjoy the world the way it was. And then, so a very dear point for me in my business is customer experience and satisfaction. Because anybody could sell a product, but selling an experience is what it requires in today's business world. Especially from an industry where I belong, the retail industry, requires a lot more detailed attention and hand-holding of a customer, because the customer journey doesn't only stop when we attract them to the stores, but it starts from the overall idea where we seed into their thought of buying something, from a decision to be made to buy something, and from a decision already made to be buying something. So once a customer has bought, then the actual journey starts, because we belong to a service industry, where we just not only sell cars, but have to service cars also. So throughout the journey of the product, the customer is with us. And once the product journey is over, customer again comes back to us with a referral, or by the way of retention. What we say, the customer retention is in the business world. So in order of customer experience, also there has been a lot of innovation happening, probably like an example of WhatsApp automation, right? Nowadays, you're seeing a lot of brands have started doing WhatsApp automation, wherein you could just interact with them, instead of picking up a phone, you interact with them over WhatsApp automation. So the innovation and customer satisfaction also has changed a very, and more importantly, after COVID time, probably pre-COVID, post-COVID, you see the way the brands are dealing with customer, or the way the industries are dealing with the customers have changed, because satisfaction has become the highest priority point. Obviously, profitability is one key issue, and then customer satisfaction also, because if you don't satisfy your customers, then you lose your base. Moving on to next, driving innovation across verticals. As I mentioned, I'll be throwing some light on these three sectors, especially automotive sector, and wherein I would be talking about how the new technologies, and the new softwares or the new technologies have been integrated with the cars of today's world, then AI and machine learning, and then the new energy vehicles, which I mentioned, the next generation smart vehicles. Then the second vertical which I'll be talking about is food processing, where I would want to throw some light on smart packaging innovations, automation and quality control, like how you control the temperature, spillages, and all of that, and waste reduction strategies. The third vertical which I'll be talking on will be on garments and textiles, wherein we'll be talking about digital twins in production management, sustainable manufacturing practices, and then personalized product design. And then, moving on to our very first vertical, one of the most trending subjects in automotive currently. And just to throw some light, a lot of people ask me why automobile, has interested me, because I might be wrong with numbers here and there, 5 to 10%, particularly in automotive. But automotive sector is one of the highest paying, contributing factor in our GDPs. And when you consider it in terms of manufacturing GDPs, automotive sector contributes almost 30 to 35% into manufacturing GDP. And in terms of automobile, an industry is judged by an automobile, automotive industry, like how the market is, how the automobile market is, how the market is going to react. Because this is something, obviously there are, slogans that a car is a depreciating asset and all of that. But again, being a human being is a very dear subject for us, to have a car of our own and to drive a car which gives us a lot more enthusiasm. And when I see the innovations coming in this sector, doesn't only restrict towards electric vehicle or electric mobility or new energy vehicles. It in fact, the innovation here in this sector broadens to a very different dimension of softwares and systems enabling all these new energy vehicles. Earlier, a car just had a steering wheel and just had a gear lever, a steering wheel, probably, people who were fortunate enough had music players and systems. Then, the whole transition of cars from there to the current cars today, where you see we have started getting almost fourth screen of our life, one screen being TV, one screen being laptop, one screen being phones. We have started getting one additional screen in our lives, which are into our cars. And these screens enable you to watch a movie, to listen to a music, to probably in future ordering food, to probably in future paying through your car. Your car acts as a, your own clone, which you're driving. And in that whole process, one of the major safety driven feature, or one of the major safety driven system, is ADAS, which is Advanced Driver Assistance System, wherein there are levels of ADAS. ADAS has level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Probably a Tesla kind of a car is a level 4. Current Indian cars have level 1 and level 2 ADAS. Most of the vehicles, probably 40 to 50% of the vehicles in the segment C, which is 15 lakhs to 30 lakh price bracket, have started getting ADAS. And most of the cars above 30 lakh price bracket have started. Almost all the cars have ADAS, either level 1 or level 2 or level 3. India currently is not equipped for ADAS level 4 because we don't have an ecosystem wherein a car could drive on its own, right? Like without a driver, like how it's being adopted in West, wherein you could see even commercial taxis in certain areas in US being driven driverless. So with ADAS, what does ADAS say? Obviously, I feel most of you would have heard the word cruise control. So cruise control was just one small part in ADAS. So ADAS, when you elaborate it, it helps a driver in order to judge the road, or to predict the road, or to forecast the road in a way, and to enact towards the situation which is there on road. So there are features in ADAS which are cruise control, lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, wherein if you have somebody or an obstacle coming in front of the car, suddenly the car could brake itself, even if the driver doesn't brake it. And with ADAS, there are a lot more features wherein you can obviously have a bot inside your car, which is responding to you the way Siri does to us, or the way Google Audio does to us. There is a robotic, like there is an AI person who's in fact talking to us, and who's like, probably you just say, hey MG, play me a music, hey MG, open my sunroof. So there is somebody listening to you, there is somebody who is acting to your orders basically. So even those things have also come into our cars. And with ADAS, when we say level 3 and 4, the car becomes semi-driverless. It sets its own speed, it drives on its own route. You set a map, it will take you to that particular location from a point A to point B. And then coming to connected vehicles, wherein vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to infrastructure communication enables real-time data sharing. Obviously, wherever you would have traveled, the kind of speed you're driving in, the kind of efficiency your car is having, probably in future where cars could predict, if you could drive a little better, I could deliver better mileage. So there have been these kind of softwares which are coming in. And currently in India, one of the trendiest thing which is happening is pay from your car. You go to a parking spot which you could pay from your, and obviously thanks to the government for deliberating UPI and digital payments so fast, wherein it could be integrated with cars in future to pay the tolls and to pay the parking directly from your car screen. It could be done, or probably having a particular code or an individual identity for your car could probably render those payments. And then talking about electric vehicles, sorry I mentioned electric vehicles here, but off lately I'm calling all these vehicles as new energy vehicles. Why new energy vehicles? Because there is a lot of confusion from a customer point of view, from an industry point of view, from both the ends. Because do future of automobile is just electric vehicles? Then probably no, because there are automotive giants who hail from different parts of continents of the world, wherein they have been researching about hydrogen fuel cell, which is one of the newer technologies. Then there is another technology where you call it as a hybrid, in mild hybrid and a strong hybrid, where you merge a regular ICE engine to a hybrid where you or to an EV battery. You have both the IC engine also, and you have the battery also. Then there are green hydrogen vehicles which have been tested, and in fact in commercial segment and passenger segment both. So there are huge, and already CNG is on roads in India, and CNG is in wide use in commercial segment, and CNG is being widely accepted in a price range of 5 to 7 lakhs or to 10 lakhs bracket, wherein segment A customers prefer CNG because CNG delivers a better efficiency than fuel vehicles. So similarly, as I said, why new energy vehicles and why not EVs? Obviously, electric vehicles are the one who would deliver the the overall idea of converting from a ICE vehicle to a new energy vehicle is carbon emission and then saving on your pockets also, both the ways. So when you say about carbon emission, the zero carbon emission will only happen with electric vehicles. But obviously, it's a transformation from your regular ICE vehicles to electric vehicles. Because there are apprehensions, because there are other innovations being dealt in these areas, customers are willing to choose hybrids also. It can be mild hybrid, it can be strong hybrid vehicles. And there are a lot of commercial areas wherein bus kind of a segment is there where green hydrogen is being tested, or probably transport or wherein large trucks are involved where green hydrogen is being tested. And these are, even green hydrogen also is almost a zero emission product. So all these 4-5 technologies put in together would come under new energy vehicles. And then autonomous vehicles, which have already have explained that in West there have already products like Tesla and then BYD or MG. There are a lot of products which have come wherein driverless cars cars are there. And probably a few days back I was also seeing across internet that there are commercial taxis which don't have driver, in fact, in US, which have been running successfully. Then coming next, the overall electric vehicles in India in a booming market, So again, coming to EVs, particularly new energy vehicle, there have been a lot of discussion about the EV and EVs ecosystem. As a consumer, probably if I count myself as a consumer to buy an EV, I would obviously think about 4-5 things. One is range anxiety. How much, what would be the range the product will be giving, or what would be the range the car will be giving. Then second would be, where all could I find to charge this car? Or should I only find charging it only at my home or at my office? Or can I charge it on road somewhere if I find something? Or is the infrastructure really available for me? Then third point is obviously a very dear subject to all our Indians is cost saving, because I'm saving cost on fuel, I'm spending on charging the car. So the overall maths, I would save some money probably, which is equivalent to my EMI, divert my spend to the EMI. And then the overall drivability. Is the car really comfortable for me to drive? Am I able to drive the EV comfortably? Is the EV giving me that kind of comfort in driving? Because comfort and driving has to sit a lot better for a driver to be active enough. And the very fifth point is, not for everyone, but how fast can the car go, or how fast can I reach a destination when I compare it with a petrol vehicle? Yeah, these are 4-5 questions as a basic layman customer, which I always think of when I'm buying a EV car over an IC car, or over a petrol or a diesel car. So coming to EVs in India, EVs currently has really become a booming market, because India not only is a country with highest consumption, but India has become a country with highest number of innovations and research also. Because we have more consumption, we could do a lot of experiments here. Because we have such kind of consumption, we could sell more products also here. So the diverse EV models, with currently, if you'll see, the Indian brands are doing great across worldwide products like Tata, Mahindra, Bajaj, TVS, Hero. Almost all Indian brands have EV products in their market currently, and they all are selling. Probably the Japanese brands have lagged way behind, where you don't see even one EV with them. American brands, apart from Tesla, there are no strong EV brands. Obviously, India and China have conquered the EV markets and the new energy vehicle markets. Because China has technology, nobody could ignore that, and the cost of technology is also cheaper there. The quality of technology is also superior. But when you specifically see India as a market with EVs, a lot of brands are doing experimentation currently, because they're trying to do a proper market fit for themselves, wherein should the brand be an economy brand? Should the brand be a luxury brand? Should the brand be a premium brand? Or should it be just a battery which gives more range? They are fighting amongst themselves. And every brand is going gaga over, launching new and like with the recent sensation of Ola coming into EV manufacturing. Who would have thought in life that a scooty can play music for us, right? Or who would have thought the recent Mahindra's car launch, which the lights on the car will music, the overall technology which especially the Indian companies which they are getting in is fantastic and interesting also to watch, because there is always a lot more from them, especially the Indian companies. And then, as I mentioned, the charging infrastructure. So one of the very important ecosystem parameter for any electric vehicle is charging infrastructure. That's why Indian government is also coming up with a lot of FAME schemes. So FAME is nothing but faster adoption of electric vehicles, wherein government is supporting in order, or government is encouraging consumers and corporates or companies to spend on charging infrastructure, to buy more electric vehicles, probably by giving life tax exemptions, or by giving subsidies to customers, or giving PLI benefit to the industry, giving power subsidy to the charging infrastructure vendors or suppliers. And why charging infrastructure is important? Probably earlier days, when we all started using our mobile phones, how many of us had, because we all used to get our chargers with our phones, right? Probably if you'll see in current market, we don't get our chargers with our phones, because chargers are available everywhere. You probably could order through a quick commerce platform, through Instamart, through Blinkit, through Zepto. You want a charger, you could just order right away, 15-20 minutes, you will have a charger at your place. And every house probably has 4 or 5 chargers of a phone. Similar way, with electric vehicles also, we would be...
ఎలాగుంటారు ఇవన్నీ అసలు రోజు ఎందుకమ్మా కొంటాము దేంతో పనిచేస్తున్నట్టు ఉండవు
Can everybody go on mute?
ఏ పూట కొని పెట్టించటమే
Yeah. So with charging infrastructure, the reason it becomes very important is because, obviously we are selling battery cars. We would require a lot more places to charge the vehicles, and the volume of, because the charge, once you take a vehicle, usually a vehicle takes 30 to 60 minutes to charge 80 to 100% of charge. So a charging infrastructure would require a huge space for parking, and to establish charges. With this, the power demand also goes up, because these would extract from the thermal power or from the renewable power which is coming in, which would charge the vehicles. And schemes like FAME or PME drive, or FDI in the battery generation or battery storage sectors also have helped lot many companies to grow, do their research, to do certain experimentation in the market, and to deliver proper products. One of the major charging infrastructure companies currently is Tata Power and Adani Mobility. There are other startup players like Static and ChargeZ, who are also doing wonderful job by developing their charging infrastructure. And when I talk about charging infrastructure, even the brands like, Tata, Mahindra, MG, or in two-wheeler, if you'll see, Ola has its own charging network, Ather has its own charging network, TVS has its own charging network. Every brand also has. And not only this, the legendary fuel companies, Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, HP, all of them have started deploying charging stations at their fuel stations. Because if you can have a space where a car can be parked and a fuel can be injected, why not have a charger also at the same space and charge a car? And then moving on to the next point in the overall EV sector in India, the decreasing battery costs. Obviously, currently, if you'll see, the battery car or an electric car has 20-25% extra cost of on a product. Like when I see a petrol car of the same size and same make, which is costing me 20 lakhs, probably the same car with an EV or a battery would cost 25 to 26 lakhs for me. Why does this happen? Because the only reason is we still import our batteries, from the outside world. Like we are still importing majorly from China or Mexico or probably Chile. So there are a lot of countries who are, who have the mineral wealth to which goes into making of these batteries. But I am seeing, and if you all are following the news on a daily basis, a lot of major Indian companies are making deliberate statements that they would want to build battery ecosystem in India. Like from the company I hail, JSW MG Motor India, like whom we represent in Andhra, they themselves have pledged almost 40,000 crores in building an ecosystem where battery can be made, battery can be disposed, because decreasing battery cost is not decreasing the cost of making the battery. It is about sourcing the right mineral and the metal for the battery. It is making it efficiently, and it is also scrapping the battery, because battery has a life, So the lithium or probably nickel, magnesium, cobalt, these are the minerals which are being used. So battery once used has the end life to it. Then again, it goes into recycling because it has metal in it. Probably the shell can be utilized with different battery cells. So the overall ecosystem of batteries is also important. So that is one of the major reasons why government is focusing on developing battery ecosystem and manufacturing in India, which would definitely, throw some growth on the overall EV ecosystem in India. Then coming to the fourth point, the increased consumer adoption. As I mentioned, India being more than being a country where early adopters are there, it is a space where you see that a consumer is able to experiment a new product. I don't have to wait for someone to experiment or for my neighbor to experiment or for my colleague to experiment the product. As Indians, we always have the zeal to try new technologies. Probably one of the major reasons why UPI or digital payments is popular and is in wide use today is because of this. So the similar way, I feel the similar pattern will be adopted by Indian consumers in terms of automobile, wherein you would see a huge kind of shift happening from regular IC and petrol vehicles to new energy vehicles. Because fuel prices are rising, the cost of vehicles are rising, your EMIs are there, loans are there on the cars. Instead of spending, on fuel, why don't you probably save it? Because I'll just give you a cost matrix. For a petrol car, if it takes per kilometer 10 to 12 rupees, it hardly takes 70 to 80 paisa for a electric vehicle to drive. Probably you could spend that additional 9 rupees on an EMI per kilometer. So with the current, as I mentioned, with the current rising fuel prices and government subsidies, EV adoption has become easy. So every state government has its own policy. Central government has again its own policy called PM E-Drive, wherein central government is spending overall 10,000 crores in order to increase the consumer adoption, wherein they are encouraging for consumers like us to buy more cars or buy more electric scooters, to buy more electric buses, to buy more electric trucks, to buy more electric three-wheelers. Because with the rise of e-commerce, last mile logistics and all of that, there is a huge demand for commercial vehicles also. And just by giving one small example in a commercial segment, we all have seen Ola and Uber. I don't know how many of you know, there is a brand called Blue Smart in cabs, which only has electric vehicles in its fleet. You know, this brand called Blue Smart, they started with 70 cars in India. I think in Bangalore or Delhi, they operate in both these cities. Currently, they have 8,500 electric vehicles as a taxi. And believe me, the quality of the car, the quality of the drivers, the happiness what they have is outstanding when you compare it with a regular Ola or a Uber car. And it is an Indian product. So the adoption in commercial segment is also growing. You know, with this example, I just wanted to deliver that the adoption for new energy vehicles is growing in commercial segment also, as well as passenger segment also. Then coming to the fifth point, sustainable transportation future. Obviously, with the overall innovations happening in transportation is not only restricted to cars, scooters, or, you know, buses or trucks. There are concepts like hyperloops coming in, wherein you could sit and being transported from a point A to point B in snapshot of seconds. And these have been experimented in West also by the makers of Tesla. We don't know, you know, when it is going to come, but definitely we have to prepare ourselves to welcome these kind of transportation methods also. And obviously, why does electric vehicle is required? You know, the bottom line is to make world a little more sustainable and to harm it a little lesser. So when I was just saying that, you know, electric vehicles are sustainable, somebody told, you know, batteries are harmful. So batteries usually get into recycling, you know, before they get discarded. Any battery made in India, used in India, gets into recycling. So government has policies for recycling also, wherein the whole ecosystem from making the battery to the usage of battery to the charge of battery to the disposal of battery or recycling the battery. So there is a whole ecosystem involved in new energy vehicles. Moving on to next. Yeah. So when I'm talking about adaptable production, you know, customization and modular design, and I would want to utilize this topic for all the three segments which I'm talking, you know, for automotive or for the food processing or for the food or for garments and textile also. Customization is the new premiumness, right? You don't want a already made product. You want something specific to your choice. You want something specific to your taste, or you have a different liking to what a brand makes. You would, you know, so customization is something where people are spending today. And then modular design, obviously, when you see the kind of cars being roaming on the road, the kind of you know, different types of food packagings we are seeing, the kind of presentation in the food industry, the kind of how many of you have used a product called paperboard? Have you ever imagined 15-20 years back that you could drink a juice in a pouch? You know, so earlier we used to have plastic packets where people used to just wrap it and give, right? So obviously paper product is one of the examples for modular designs. You know, it makes easy for a person or for a customer. It's a lot more convenient to use and drink that juice. And then coming to adaptable production, as I mentioned, customization is a very key aspect of current industry 4.0. It allows manufacturers or retailers or any individual brands to meet individual customer needs. And again, modular design is another key enabler for customization, because customization will involve a lot of design thinking processes, wherein and experiential process, because customization doesn't only restrict with making a product, but also customizing experiences is relevantly important for a service industry. So coming to the topic of predictive maintenance and case study, when we are talking about innovation in Industry 4.0, currently we spoke about products which are innovative and, and then moving on to the processes. How can a process be, innovated? So the earlier day, I'll just give you an example. If you all could note down, there is a product called Dozy, DOOZE, which is an AI patient tracking equipment, which is being used it's an Indian brand. It's a first Indian brand in healthcare, which has a Dozy machine next to each patient's bed. So what it does is it captures the whole data, creates it as a dashboard, sends it to the doctor, right? So the overall process of a doctor coming in, taking on the measures, reading it throughout, the whole process is tedious. Dozy makes it a lot easier because it captures the data right there on the bed of a patient. So in the similar way, the only reason why I'm giving the example of Dozy is that innovation can happen in terms of process also. There can be gaps in a process. There can be problems in a process, which can have a solution in terms of innovating the overall process thinking, or probably committing lesser errors in the whole process. In which predictive maintenance, what do we mean by predictive maintenance, right? Wherein a forecast can be done on certain things or on certain processes. With that forecast, you would be able to optimize the downtime, improve some efficiency, assuming that something is going to happen with the correct data points, and you could reduce the cost, and you could also deliver it to the teams who are working on it, that, hey, so-and-so process is there, which is costing us this much. Probably we take a corrective measure towards it, we reduce certain cost, and we could increase our efficiency or productivity over the time, right? So, and this all is based on the data, right? So currently, if you see, and I think all the management faculties, you pretty well understand why data analytics has become important part of our, our professional lives, or probably our, personal lives also. And because data is everywhere, and data has become everything for us. And without data, how do you predict on your future happenings, or how do you predict or you forecast on what is going to happen in the overall process in our industry, right? So once you have the data, you predict. With that, you have lesser, errors to happen. You have better efficient to grow on it, you to do better numbers, and then you are able to deliberate it to the team, wherein their productivity could also increase. The word JIT, I don't think I have to explain the word JIT, because one of the very familiar concepts in manufacturing and management is JIT, wherein just-in-time manufacturing, or just-in-time thing is widely used in our management classes, right? So I'm not explaining this, but I would want to precise on these two topics about predictive maintenance and then real-time data analysis, wherein obviously, because real predictive maintenance is dependent on the data part. So these are the case studies for predictive maintenance. Probably in a food processing unit, how could you predict something and how could you enact on it? If you assume that if you have 5 SKUs, or if you have 5 products, right? You make the first batch of it, you send it to the market, probably through a quick commerce company or probably through supermarkets. After a month or so, you understand the data, that which product is selling more, and then you channelize your production your production line accordingly, and you make only those 1 or 2 products which in fact is being sold more, right? So there are forecasts which happen in industry trend and in general, wherein any brand or any manufacturing unit or any corporate, before launching a product or while the journey of product being sold in market, they do their optimizations. They do their forecasting of the products, like how the sales is going to be, or how the errors in manufacturing is going to be, with the help of data, obviously, because all the insights what you get is data driven, and you are able to analyze the data, and then you are able to take a corrective measure towards it. So predictive maintenance is nothing but a corrective measure which you take and when you act on a data. And then increased efficiency, because when you have lesser error, your efficiency grows up. Then coming to innovations in food processing, or F&B, which I would like to call the food and beverage industry, smart packaging innovations. Now, what is smart packaging innovations? Currently, if you would have seen, the packaging overall in food industry has changed. You have spill-proof packaging, you have anti-sogging packaging, you have packaging which can keep the heat and temperature the way when it was cooked. Then you have packaging, for cold food, which has to be stored and, in cold storages. Different kind of packagings have come. And again, in packaging also, when you see with the high rise of plastic usage, there is a very high demand of sustainable packaging in the market currently, from different sustainable products. It's not only restricted to the disposable packaging items, but also for storing food items also. And with smart packaging innovations, it's not just the design of the packaging, or it's not just the quality of the packaging which is being innovated here. Even the barcodes which are being used, the QR codes which are being used, or the tracking devices in the packaging which are being used, allows a brand or allows a industry or a restaurant to, or probably to think on where we could do better, in terms of tracking that particular packaging, or in terms of wherein I'm able to give a customer an experience of transparency, right? Wherein I am a customer, I would have booked my food from Swiggy or Zomato. I know I'm able to track my food, right? It is enhancing transparency for me. I don't have anxiety when it is going to come, because I don't want to wait. I want to track it when and where I'm able to remember that, oh, I've ordered so and so thing, so I'm tracking it, right? So even these kind of technologies have, the traceability technologies have allowed innovations in food processing sector. The very right example is how we all track our orders from Swiggy and Zomatos. Then smart packaging innovation, as I mentioned, real-time tracking. The last example which I mentioned was of real-time tracking. Then, as I was saying about innovation in packaging, that anti-spilling product, anti-spilling packaging, tamper-proof packaging, anti-counterfeiting features, wherein smart packaging is able to give a way better assurance to the customer, and safety of the product also is equally important. And then improved consumer experiences. So with improving consumer experiences, I would want to quote one example. The other day when I ordered food from one of the restaurants, I saw on the packaging which I received in Swiggy, so the restaurant had mentioned the temperature when it was cooked. The kind of trust I would have that on that restaurant, I'm definitely going to go back, because they're mentioning the temperature, they're mentioning the overall information or ingredients which are being used, the kind of experience which I got. And then in terms of, when you see, probably one of the best example of packaging innovations is an Apple iPhone box. The overall feel of opening that box itself makes it an Apple product, right? That's how they position the packaging. That's how they position the brand. The similar way with food also, you see a McDonald's packaging, it's rightly prepared for a burger, that single burger, which could be kept in that. You can't store anything less or more, or, in that particular packaging. And when you open it also, it has a very seamless design, and overall thought process is in such a way that you deliver an experience to the consumer, or you deliver a brand language in format of packaging to a consumer. And obviously brands are making it quite more interesting by putting more interactive labels and QR codes on the packaging also. Then how can you, utilize automation in quality control? Probably by automated inspections, which are already there, as I mentioned, when the food was prepared, right? There's somebody who's testing that temperature. There's somebody who's putting that temperature there. Probably if I have a AI robot, or if I have a robotic collaboration wherein, a product, the moment it is made can be inspected, and I could get all the data in my app. Okay, you are going to receive so and so food. The temperature was so and so when it was prepared in the kitchen. The temperature was, say, 34 degrees when it was packed, and currently it is on the way for you to reach. Before the temperature decreases, you probably consume it, or rather not store it for a longer time, because a hot tip. So these kind of features would definitely going to contribute in terms of customer experiences. Also can replace the manpower who's doing the temperature checks there. This is just one of the example of inspections. There are, in automobile industry, there is a production line where a car gets painted, right? So there are robots which only are equipped to check the thickness of the paint on each car panel, right? If there is a car panel where a thickness is under the SOP or the guidelines of the brand, they immediately remove the panel from the production capacity or the production line. And how do they do it? Again, the data-driven insights. They have data, they work on that data. That's how these robots do inspect. That's how these automation will help, because unless and until you feed data, automation couldn't react to it, because it will react to the data which is given to it. And then process optimization, wherein AI algorithms optimize the overall quality control processes, and which would result in minimizing errors and reducing the overall production downtime. And then coming to the third industry or the vertical, and I've been a student also to this vertical, and which is garment and textile industry. The innovation here is totally in different dimensions. Innovation in production, innovation in terms of material also, innovation in terms of consumer experiences, or probably transformation from a manual processes to a digital processes. So in terms of product innovations, there are products to the scale of wherein, with a single, without cutting down different panels, with a single seam of a garment can be stitched. There are product innovations to the scale of materials, to the scale of processes and all that, which I'll explain in detail. The overall textile industry currently is in a significant transformation, because there is a humongous waste which comes out of textile industry, in terms of chemicals, in terms of fiber, in terms of fabrics. Every process has a contribution towards the current waste which is being generated towards overall textile industry. Each process, the dyeing process has wastage, the cutting and sieving process has wastage, the garmenting industry has wastage, the packaging of the garment has wastage. So innovation in this particular thing could reduce a lot more, because currently, if you'll see, recycled cotton has become a very famous thing. Recycled polyester, there is waste polyester left, or there is already used polyester garments which could be converted into recycled polyester. A waste water bottle can be converted into a recycled polyester, with which you could make, with any polyester, you could make a sportswear garment for a consumer, right? So the similar way, as I was saying, sustainable practices, the sustainable practice also lies in production also, as well as materials also. With materials, there are materials scaling from organic cotton to bamboo cotton. There are fibers which are being extracted by lotus or milk or orange. Even any fiber you find in any kind of a fruit or a vegetable, there are innovations happening to bring out a fabric from that particular, like you have orange peel fabric available in market, you have lotus fabrics available in market which are taken out from a lotus stem. Then you have fabric made out of milk, especially milk protein, wherein the fiber extracted or the fiber generated from that also is available in the market. One of the very famous sustainable materials are organic cotton, wherein a pesticide which is not used to grow the cotton, and then the bamboo cotton. And there is also banana fiber, which is also widely used in sportswear or athleisure brands, which has a cooling effect to your body. And then obviously sustainable practices would involve a lot of waste reduction, which I was mentioning about in this particular industry. In terms of digital transformation, how digitalization has played a crucial role. Earlier days, we used to go to a store to buy clothes. Now, there are stores who try talking to us in form of notifications, throw some discounts on us through e-commerce platforms. And you have n number of e-commerce brands in today's era, which are active in, fashion industry. And every brand has its own language with the design or with the process they have in. And as I mentioned, customer experience again does a lot of difference in any brand's journey in fashion, because the kind of experience you give in fashion industry is very different. Like probably a bespoke brand has a different experience, a designer brand has a different customer experience, a mass brand has a different customer experience, a multi-brand store has a different customer experience. Every brand or every fashion brand has a language of its own experience being given to the customer. So as I was mentioning, the innovation in garment and textile or apparel, the overall smart textiles which I was mentioning. So apart from the materials, so what is smart textiles? Smart textile is something which you wear, and the garment is interacting with you. Probably there might be a day where if I'm a music lover, I'm wearing a garment, I could just tap on the garment and I'm able to listen to some sounds or music. These are the garments, interactive garments. But the right use case for, one of the projects which I remember from my college days is one of my friend had done a smart textile for people who have diseases, or for people who have genetic disorders. So they wear certain garments which they react to it, right? Probably you have a garment with an LED board, you're not able to speak, you could just type on your phone and you're able to communicate to the garment. So these are interactive garments. Then there are embedded sensors. There are health tech garments, wherein you have sensors in the garment which keep tracking your health on time-to-time basis. Then sustainable fabrics, which I mentioned, there are recycled fabrics, there are bio-based fabrics, and reduced water usage, obviously, because cotton industry and fashion industry is one of the highest water consuming industry, starting from the farming of cotton to the making of garments. It uses a lot of water, and that is one of the reasons why sustainable fabrics are coming in. Probably a bamboo fabric or an organic cotton fabric or a hemp fabric wouldn't require the amount of water a regular cotton fabric would take. And then 3D printing of textiles. So there are technologies where 3D printing of home is also happening. In the similar way, the 3D printing of textiles is also happening. There is a brand called On Cloud, if you could all go research, wherein they are 3D printing a shoe, right? So it is not only, fashion industry is not only restricted to the textile and garment part of it, but even the footwear side of it or accessory side of it. There are 3D printed glasses, sunglasses in the market which are available. There are 3D printed footwears which are available. There are 3D printed garments also which are available. right? Probably by the way of printing doesn't mean that it goes into printing, but it is actually 3D printing of a fiber which makes a garment. And then digital twins in production management. Why a digital twin is required to a manual process? There is a lot of digital twinning happening when there is a person who is doing the manual process, and then there is a twin digitally doing its own process through AI and ML also. So digital twins are virtual representations of our physical assets, providing real-time view of production processes. Not only in production, but also in retail processes. There is always a DMS or a software which are a digital twin to our manual processes. Then optimizing operations by simulating different scenarios and manufacturers and identifying the bottlenecks. As I was mentioning in my previous slides also, every process has certain bottleneck. Innovation can happen as a solution to that bottleneck also in the process. And then predictive maintenance, I think I've explained it earlier also, that forecasting in the overall process is very important to come out of the errors and to increase the efficiency and productivity also. Then improving efficiency. With digital twinning, obviously there is always a double check. When you have a double check, your efficiency also grows, because you have a process which is being replicated to have a check on it. Then the conclusions and key takeaways, as I was mentioning throughout my presentation about future trends, and then key insights about the Industry 4.0 technologies, the future of electric vehicles, the future of new energy vehicles, charging infrastructure, and then coming to F&B, I had mentioned about packaging innovation, sustainable packaging, the tracking of food or smart traceability of food packaging. Then in garmenting, we spoke about smart textiles, sustainable fibers or materials, bio-based fibers, then reducing errors by innovating processes or cleaning the loopholes there. And then future trends, again, both the things go hand in hand. Like the future trends, we spoke in automobile about ADAS, or the way screens are going to evolve in cars in future, or the way F&B is going to be tracked, like the temperature tracking of the product or the temperature tracking of the food can be one of the future trends, which we could see as a trend across everywhere. And then in garments, obviously 3D printing of textile is currently being used as a high fashion product, but obviously it could come down to mass markets also. Yeah. So the future trends in industry, obviously data point and the analytics point, wherein leveraging our AI and ML for overall process orientation and process optimization by predictive maintenance, quality control, and then collaborative robots, as I said, in all three sectors, having robots which could contribute a way lot better, obviously alongside humans, not by eliminating humans, by increasing the efficiency or adding on value is the solution. And then sustainable manufacturing, and then cybersecurity. So with sustainable manufacturing is nothing but, adopting proper sustainable measures, getting into renewable energy sources, and then cutting down on waste is one of the most important factors, because instead of adopting something new, cutting on something existing is also sustainable. And then cybersecurity, obviously, because the overall industry would work with a lot of data. And as a human being, we currently are exposed to a lot of industry, a lot of internet threats and cyber threats. So cybersecurity is obviously a focal point for these three industries, wherein a lot of data will be revolving around, like the driving behavior of a customer, or the food behavior of a customer, or the way, what color does he like to wear, what kind of garments does he like to wear. So strengthening cybersecurity measures to protect all these data will also be equally important for customers. So I think that's it. Thank you so much. And this is my LinkedIn ID and email ID. I hope I have thrown some light at least. This is my very first interaction with the faculties, wherein I'm deliberating newer, industry trends to the faculties and open for Q&A session to everyone.
Yeah, the session is open for Q&A session. If any faculty member wants to interact with the resource person, yes, can raise in the chat box.
Any kind of question, I think we have. I'm okay to take questions for another 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you so much for complimenting the session in the chat box.
Yes, Gautam, I should say you have taken us to the journey of the futuristic vehicles, and we learned a lot today about the new energy vehicles and the dynamics that they are shaping up of India's mobility sector. So it's a excellent disposition about the future trends, not only in automobiles, but also F&B, food and beverages, and textiles. But with reference to new energy vehicles, vehicle to infrastructure, the shift from ICE technology to new energy vehicles, you have taken us to the full life cycle journey, I should say. But I'm just raising one or two questions like how proactive is the government in terms of new energy segment?
Obviously, government has been proactive since past 5 years in terms of adoption of. So when we speak about government support, there are two sides of it. One is to the demand side of it, wherein governments wants to encourage customers to buy more new energy vehicles or electric vehicles by giving in form of life tax exemption or by giving subsidies to the customers, wherein currently in our two-wheelers or three-wheelers, we still get subsidy for a EV to be bought. And similar way, government is also encouraging manufacturers and industries to come open their research centers, design centers, wherein they could develop these kind of technologies and also bring in their production lines and benefit from the PLIs also. So this is happening from past 5 years under the scheme of FAME, faster adoption of EV vehicles, and now currently the scheme is called PM E-Drive, wherein any kind of consumer who wants to buy a electric vehicle, it can be a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler. Four-wheeler, obviously there are lesser subsidies. Four-wheeler has tax exemptions, but two-wheeler, three-wheeler, e-buses have subsidies to be bought over, wherein a customer is encouraged on behalf of government to buy these vehicles for certain time frame.
Yeah, excellent. With respect to the textile industry, I have some small doubt. Like earlier, India used to be the largest exporter of textiles, but slowly the Bangladesh, Vietnam, even other countries, once considered to be the third world countries, are dominating. What is the reason and what are the challenges in the textile exports?
So one of the reasons why Bangladeshi textile industry grew was because of cheaper labor, because as a country and as an industry, textile industry in Bangladesh has a lot of usage of child labor, and you obviously most of you would have come across different kind of articles also, and and more than Bangladesh, probably India's textile industry has to learn a lot from China's textile industry. The way they bring in newer fabrics, the way they bring in smart textiles, the way they bring in product innovation and process innovation both. So they have, and it's not very far that India is left behind, but India is again catching up because of a lot of geopolitical issues between the large world countries and China and Bangladesh, wherein India would definitely see a scope. Earlier in India, textile industry was restricted to certain areas like Tirupur, Ludhiana, Bangalore. But currently, if you'll see, every state has got a beautiful policy on textile parks. Almost every state in India currently has textile parks. So which has enabled for small scale industries or MSME industries to come venture into textile manufacturing or probably any kind of process which involves into, making a whole garment or fashion industry. So that would definitely have a huge room and scope of growth in future. And when we see about textile industry, when I speak about India, India is very rich in terms of its crafts and weaves. There are a lot of different kinds of weaves across different countries, different districts in India, which also makes India a very unique and, so because these are handmade and, hand woven kind of products, Indian products are costlier. That is one of the reasons why fast fashion brands go to Bangladesh and China to produce more.
Yeah, excellent.
I've got a question. I think day by day, a lot of technologies have developed and skills are more important today. So is there any syllabus that will be changing in university levels? Will be changing in university level? I think so. Till today, some universities have not developed a learning step. Yes, obviously there are courses which are being developed, like the trends of AI ML courses coming in, or probably in automobile engineering. Already there are syllabuses which have been changed towards electric vehicle policies and all of that. And these kind of skills so when we speak about on behalf of like JSW MG Motor India, we in fact had a lot of skill development centers partnered with us, a lot of universities partnered with us. Even in fact, government is also involving in changing the overall curriculum also in terms of where automobile is concerned or where these new technologies are concerned. So I don't think that universities are lacking at all, but probably Niranjanji might be a little correct that not all universities have adopted these technologies. So are electric vehicles really eco-friendly? Manufacturing lithium-ion batteries causes huge pollution. Also, disposing the batteries which are not working is a big issue. So this question is from Rohit Kumarji. So, there is no disposal of battery which happens. It's all recycled, So is it actually harmful than the petrol emissions or diesel emissions is the question. So currently, there are two ways to look at it. One, trying to save a little better, bringing in more carbon, carbon emission-free cars on the roads with the current rise of pollution happening in our own country's capital or in a lot of metro cities. I think it's high time we bring in EVs, because an average life of a EV battery is 8 to 10 years. Then again, it goes into recycling phase. So the average life grows to 15 to 18 years for any kind of battery. Because after 8 to 10 years, the battery depletes, but the battery doesn't die for disposal. So a battery is always recyclable product. But a petrol or a diesel fuel is not recyclable, because using it on a first hand itself will release a lot of emission. Reusing it will deliver more emissions. So I don't think it is a bigger issue if we have battery recycling centers, Rohitji. Yeah.
So there is another question like...
Yeah, there are claims that production of electric vehicles generate emissions. Additionally, some argue that environmental benefit of electric vehicles are contingent upon the sources of their power. How should we approach? Probably by involving renewable power sources, renewable power generation, starting from the first process to the end of process. Like, there should be renewable energy given for cars to be charged. And Cars will be running on renewable energy. Every household having solar power will obviously also deliberately impact in this whole process. And then obviously at the end of stage, having battery recycling centers across all districts or states, or scrapping centers, vehicle scrapping centers also will have a positive impact on the overall environmental side. So electric vehicles are more costlier, especially two-wheelers. Yes, obviously, because as I mentioned, the current battery prices are high when we compare with the ICE vehicles, because battery manufacturing has not really started in India. Probably in next 1 or 2 years, you will see a drastic drop down in battery cost happening. Yeah. So I think I've answered all the questions. Have I left any questions? Smart packaging system. Yeah. So again, there's a question from Fani Krishna ji. Smart packaging systems that track and monitor in real time may collect sensitive customer information. Is it really? So that's why the need of cyber security is required, because data security is one of the focal points when we all speak about data. You know, customers, obviously our data is not protected everywhere, but there will obviously a point which will come wherein you will trust the brand in terms of data protection also, because consumers will start asking these points on a regular basis, because when we use our phones, when we are using our overall data with social media or digital payments or banking, everything has become, you know, on internet, right? Like on air. So cyber security is something which is very important, and data security or cyber security, which is very important for us to save on the data.
I think we have done with the questions. Appreciation to Mr. Fani Krishna for raising questions every day. Keep going. Still, we have 3 more days to go. Especially Gautam, very profusely thank you for the wonderful session you have delivered. And that is evident from the chat box appreciations we can see about the session. So we wish you good luck. And on behalf of Department of Business Administration and PP Siddhartha, the College of Arts and Science, we look forward to many sessions from you and your team. And as I mentioned, this is the 3rd day. Tomorrow also we are getting another important resource person. I think probably you'll be knowing him, Mr. Venkatramana Avera CEO. I mean,
Yes.
The promoter of Avera e-vehicles.
Yes.
So in that sense, we have lined up excellent resource persons like you in the coming days also. I request all the participants to take advantage of the resource persons we are bringing in.
Probably the questions will rightly fit to the resource person from Avera, because he's a production guy. Yes. And all in for EVs. So you will have a great session tomorrow with him about the technology and the manufacturing part of EVs. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the faculties. And thank you, Rajesh sir, for giving an opportunity to speak and contribute in terms of sharing my knowledge and experiences, so that further this could be deliberated to the students also on all your behalves.
Thank you, Gautam. Thank you for your time and your session.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
With this, we are winding up the session today, and I think you can fill the feedback form. Still, we are observing that many of you are not joining at the initial stage of the sessions every day. So attendance will be taken on an automated basis, not necessarily only on the basis of the feedback. So I request all the participants to engage yourself in both the sessions from beginning to the end. Thank you very much and have a nice time.
Thank you, Rajesh sir.
Thanks, Ashok, for your wonderful interaction with the resource persons.
Reggie.
Grateful to you, sir. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Good night.
Raman, chat open చేయండి. పోతుందేమో ఇంకా